I again want to thank the Shirley volunteer for sponsoring and hosting the event tonight. Thank George for moderating. Also thank the campaign teams for coming out and the voters as well for asking us the questions, and those who will be watching this at home. I want to go back to where we started, and that's we pointed out, and I think we're all well aware that Beacon Hill is broken, and it's not working on our behalf. It's working on behalf of the special interests and the lobbyists up on Beacon Hill, as we've seen over and over, a blatant disregard for our wishes, the waste and the inefficiency of state government in doing things, making changes that clearly make sense. Things like getting rid of police details, this is good enough for 49 other states, of creating a more business-friendly environment and a family-friendly environment for all businesses, because we do compete with other states and we are failing miserably. And I really believe firmly that the blame for that sits at Beacon Hill, which has been in firm one-party rule for many, many years. So the voters this year have to look at the fact that we are at an important crossroads. Do we continue down this path towards financial devastation as a state? We haven't talked about the fact that this state government has put the highest debt load burden on us and on our children as any other state. We haven't talked about the fact $450 million that was held in the rainy day fund. I helped drive a ballot question that you will all get to vote on in the November election, which will ask you, do you want your representative to go in favor of returning the $450 million in the state's rainy day fund to the towns for property tax relief? For Shirley, that means $700,000 that's been held back from the state. That could do a lot. That could help avoid some of the divisive override votes that we've had. But no, the state government takes that money and we just hope they give it back to us. So anybody who isn't familiar with that issue, I would encourage you to go to 450million.org and check it out. Check out how much that means to your town, and that this was another obvious example of the state government holding back that money. I will go to fight for that one if you vote for it, and I'll tell you though, the state's going to fight tooth and nail against it because they see that as their money. They're more worried about their bond rating, even though that rainy day fund is much higher than their own stated recommendations require it to be. They're going to want to hold on to that money. Meanwhile, it's been raining out in our towns. We need that property tax relief. So your job this election, if you will, is to decide, are we going to continue down that path towards financial ruin? The government showed us over and over they're not going to make the reform and the change. Or are we going to stop the insanity of sending people from the same type of party, the same progressive liberal agenda, up to Beacon Hill to expect different results? Or are you going to get behind a new leader, a new type of leader, who does bring very relevant experience from the business world, both politically and working in the real world of business, and as a facilitator, to go and work for the people up on Beacon Hill? And it is one-party rule right now. I realize I will need to work with the other Republicans and certainly the other Democrats. There are fiscally conservative Democrats up there, but they can't even raise their head because they'll be out of line with the speaker or out of line with the governor. So if you want another politician to go up and vote the party line, you have that choice. Or you have the choice to vote for someone who's firmly committed with everything they have and all their dedication and time to go up there and fight for change that makes sense for our towns, our families, and for the future of Massachusetts. Thank you.